Hi, it's Filo. Thank you for joining me for this December bullet journal plan with me video. But first, let me show you two spreads that I created for the end of the year with the brand new washi tape sets that were gifted to me by the Washi Tape Shop. This first one is a bucket list with the adorable Jingle Pose set. And this one is more specific for Christmas and the holidays, and here I used the Cozy Celebrations set. You can find the links below and don't forget to use my code. And now let's dive into December together. Ever since I started bullet journaling, I've done only wintry themes for December. Last year I did a book theme, the year before I did a sweater weather theme, and the year before that I did a bakery theme. So yeah, I don't know why, but I never did a really festive theme. And so this year, maybe it's because of the washi tape, I don't know, but I'm more in a festive mood. And so I went with gingerbread houses. And so I'm starting here doodling a gingerbread house for the cover. At first glance, it seems like a pretty standard gingerbread house, but if you look closely, the roof is slightly caved in. And that's just because it's not really your standard gingerbread house. It's a bit over the top, as you'll see later. For now, I'm just decorating the main part of the house and adding a few sprinkles. The chimney, of course, is essential. And now with the best part, this house has a cupcake on the roof. The smoke from the chimney is just the first layer on the cupcake. On the front we have a stone path, a pond and a little bridge. And finally, a garden where candies grow. Of course, the cupcake needs toppings, so I'm adding little gingerbread stars and more toppings for the second layer. Now let's not forget the stars in the sky, because it's Christmas time. And finally, let's color everything. All the pens and brush pens I'm using I got from Stationery Pal, and you can find the links down below, and you can also use my discount code Filo10. So here I'm starting with a Tombow dual brush pen in 992, and I'm coloring in a few layers to mimic the texture and irregularities of gingerbread. For the shadows of the fondant and underneath each sprinkle, I'm using a lighter beige in 990. For the sprinkles, I used a pink in 772 that unfortunately I don't think you can appreciate very well. Then I wanted to add light through the windows of this gingerbread house, and I found that the Ohuhu was a bit brighter. Then for the chocolate details, it's another Tombow dual brush pen in 899. And finally, the cupcake is a lighter beige in 942. I didn't want to use green and red, or in general, I didn't want to use too many colors, but I think that if you want to recreate this theme and not have a too hard time editing it for Instagram or YouTube, you could recreate it with green and red for the contrast. For the toppings, the little stars are gingerbread, and the spheres are pink and chocolate. Finally, I added a discreet touch of gold with the Ohuhu fine liners. To add shadows and textures, I'm using my colored pencils. That's the best way I found to give the texture some irregularities like you can find in food. Usually for the shadows, I just go over it again with the same brush pen or a slightly darker shade, but it can look a bit streaky and that's what I wanted to avoid with food. And so colored pencils make it look more organic and yummy. Then I'm stamping the header with my wooden stamps, always starting with the middle letter to make sure it's centered. And finally, to frame my spread, I'm doodling a kind of decoration that you would find on a gingerbread house. And later I'll come back to add just one element to this page, but for now, that's it for the cover. On the left page in front of the cover, I usually do a memory spread, but you know I can't be trusted. So this time around, I decided to do a tracker spread. It's been a long time since I've done tracker spreads, but lately I've been using my trackers again, and for that I was doing Dutch door weeklies, which is fine, but you know, I like to change things up a bit and not do always the same things. That's the beauty of bullet journaling. And really, the only downside to Dutch door weeklies is that it doesn't leave you much space around to doodle and make every page look different. Here I started by stamping my mini calendars with my clear stamps. In this set you also can use the Sunday starting weeks, and then I'm just writing the headers in calligraphy for each tracker with the fine tip of the Tombow dual brush pen. I'm also keeping my work hours tracker here, which makes it so much easier at the end of the month for me to report my timesheet. I'm adding the same frame here as in the cover, just for the sake of cohesiveness. And then it looked way too white and empty, so I decided to give each tracker a background color, just in case I'm not too regular with my workout or my skincare. So a gingerbread workout tracker for the holidays, really. It still looked empty, and apparently I really needed to look nice to motivate me. So here I'm adding a sticker, and that's when I realized that I could cut part of a sticker for my cover page. So here I'm cutting a light garland with my X-Acto knife. And that's it, our cover page is complete. Now with the calendar, I'm starting with the basic functional structure. I'm back trying to keep the weekend on the right and the weekdays on the left, just to try and make sure I don't work on the weekends. But I'm not very confident about that. I mean, I don't work as a French teacher on weekends, but I love to film on a Saturday morning when it's all nice and quiet and cozy. Plus, is it really work? Like, honestly, I've got to a point where I don't really know what's work anymore. When I teach French, it's clear, but when I'm drawing, when I'm filming, I really don't know. I guess this happens to every YouTuber at some point, where you started with a hobby and it became a job. And I don't know, I still enjoy it to the fullest. I really love what I do, but it's also work. I don't know. For now, my only goals are to enjoy it and post regularly. And that's it, we'll see where it goes. And oh, editing feels like work. Anyway, whew, that was a tangent. It's just, I guess it's hard to define the limits when you're dedicating so much time to a hobby and nobody is really forcing you to do so. So it's pleasure, but it's also around 20 hours for each video, between filming, editing, recording the voiceover, adding the music, and so on. And as the end of the year is approaching, I really would like to do more videos for you, but I don't really have more time, so I think I will keep it to one video per week and prioritize quality over quantity. Anyway, I'm rambling, sorry. Back to the spread. Here I wrote December with gingerbread letters with a stencil and then added snow on top. And then I had this amazing idea to use my clear stamps for the dates, which takes really longer than necessary, but I really wanted to use this cute font and my handwriting is not as regular and cute as that, so it was worth it. Since December starts on a Friday, I've used this space on the top left corner of the calendar for my social trackers, and at the bottom right of the calendar I write the books I'm reading, and that leaves me with a nice space to doodle another gingerbread house. This one doesn't have a cupcake on top, so the roof is still strong. This house doesn't have a pond or enough land for a candy garden, but it has string lights. Let's not forget the smoke coming up from the chimney, even if it's not really edible. And the stars in the sky, and let's color. For this house I kept the same color palette as in the cover, so I'm speeding up the process a bit. I still wanted to keep the idea of these stars in the smoke, even if it doesn't really make much sense anymore. Here I wanted to write a quote, and I know I already used this same one on my Christmas bucket list spread, but it's just the best Christmas quote to me. It's from A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and it reads, "I will honor Christmas and try to keep it all the year." By the way, I highly recommend you read it. I read it last year on Christmas Eve, and it was just perfect. And there's a little unexpected twist to it, because instead of writing all the year, I wrote all year long. But yeah, it's the same. Finally, I'm adding a few stickers from the Cozy Celebration sticker set from the Washi Tape Shop. And I'm changing up my mind as per usual and switching them around, because I realized that there are a few cupcake stickers and I needed all the food. We also need more stars, and best if it comes with magic. And with that, the monthly spread is done. Now with the first weekly, I'm going with a horizontal layout, and I'm using this chocolate drizzle as a frame for all my daily boxes. For the days, I'm using these clear stamps from the same set as the numbers I used in my monthly calendar, so they have the same cute and festive font. For the days, I'm using these wooden stamps because I need big bold numbers, otherwise I don't remember which week it is. For the illustration here, I'm doodling a bunch of tiny gingerbread houses as a Christmas village under the snow. Their lamplights are candy canes, and the sun, of course, had to be a candy too. This has to be one of the easiest themes I've done this year. It's just a bunch of geometrical shapes, and the wigglier the lines, the better. Plus, any color palette will do. So I really encourage you to recreate it, and if you do, tag me on Instagram so I can share it with everyone. And finally, to frame the whole spread, I'm using a combination of thinner washi tapes. and I'm cutting the right part of my spread to create waterfall weeklies. If you don't know what that is, or if you don't know how to create waterfall weeklies, watch out for my next video next week, where I'll show you how I create all my remaining weeklies. And finally, just to be a little bit extra, I used more stickers from the washi tape set. I still had to use a bunch of candy stickers and this little deer that, let's say it's a gingerbread deer. And it's time for the flip through of this December gingerbread house theme. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and leave me this emoji in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you get notified when my next video comes up. I'll see you next week with the remaining weeklies of December, and until then, enjoy planning!